can feel it, right? There's something between the two of you. The way she looks at you, the shared moments, it's undeniable. But when the conversation fades, it's always you who has to take the first step. Why is that? Why doesn't she reach out first, even when you're certain she feels something too? It's more than just the silence. It's the unanswered questions, the confusion about what's going on in her mind. But here's the twist. This isn't just a dating issue. It's part of a deeper, universal human pattern. It's something you can learn to understand and even turn to your advantage. Today, we're going to explore this dynamic, blending modern insights with ancient Stoic wisdom, tools that can help you turn uncertainty into clarity and take back control of the situation. Let's break it down. St. 1. The illusion of effortless attraction. She's sitting there, looking at your messages, maybe even smiling at something you said, but she never texts first. Why? Because society has conditioned her to believe that the right man always makes the first move. The message is clear. If you really care, you'll pursue her relentlessly. It's not that she's not interested. It's that she's been taught that taking the first step might make her seem too eager or desperate. Take Mia, for example. She's had a crush on Tom for weeks. She's drawn to his confidence and grounded nature, but each time she thinks about texting him, doubt creeps in. What if I look desperate? What if he doesn't feel the same? So she waits and waits. Eventually, fear of rejection keeps her silent, despite how much she likes him. Here's where Stoicism comes in. You can't control her hesitation, but you can control your reaction to it. Instead of letting her silence make you feel worthless or push you into overcompensating, embrace patience and self-respect. Many men fall into the trap of thinking that relentless effort equals love. But chasing someone to exhaustion doesn't demonstrate value, it diminishes it. Women, like men, are drawn to strength and balance. If she truly likes you, your patience and confidence will encourage her to meet you halfway. Instead of sending her a good morning text every day, step back and observe. Does she check in on you? Does she try to keep the conversation going when you're not initiating? These are subtle signs that she's interested, but hesitant. Think of a woman like a pendulum. If you push too hard, bombarding her with texts and calls, she'll pull away, overwhelmed. But if you give her space, she'll naturally lean toward you. Your silence, when used wisely, shows emotional maturity and confidence. If she really likes you, she'll find a way to meet you halfway. But this won't happen if you're constantly chasing her or doubting your own worth. Be the man who respects himself enough to be patient and confident enough to act when the time is right. By adopting the Stoic mindset, grounded, patient, and focused on what you can control, you send a powerful message. I am enough, with or without you. And trust me, that confidence is magnetic. 2. The fear of rejection. Let's talk about something most people don't realize. Women fear rejection too, sometimes even more than men. Society often portrays women as the ones being pursued, but that doesn't mean they don't feel the same fear of putting themselves out there first. Her silence might feel like indifference, like she's not into you. But the truth is, her hesitation has more to do with her internal battle, the fear of rejection, than it does with you. Women, just like men, feel vulnerable when they open up. The more she likes you, the more intimidating it can feel to make the first move. Women are often taught not to be too forward. Society says initiating contact might make them look needy or desperate. So even if she's interested, she might hold back, waiting for you to make the first move. This doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's human, dealing with her own fears and insecurities. So, what do? Should you always make the first move? Not necessarily. While it's important to show interest, you don't want to be the one constantly chasing. Aim for balance. Take the initiative when it feels right, but don't let her silence erode your sense of self-worth. For instance, if you've already reached out and she hasn't responded, resist the urge to double text or overcompensate. Send one thoughtful message and give her space. If she's interested, she'll eventually reach back out. If not, you've maintained your dignity and saved yourself from unnecessary overthinking. Here's the paradox. When you stop stressing over her silence, you become more attractive. Your calm and steady demeanor sends a clear message. I am confident in who I am, and I don't need constant validation. Instead of focusing on why she hasn't texted you, Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. This is where Stoicism really shines. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Use this time to cultivate your strengths, pursue your passions, and build a life that makes you proud. Not only will this help you stay emotionally resilient, but it will also make you more magnetic. When a woman sees you thriving and confident in your own life, she'll naturally be drawn to you in a deeper, more meaningful way. And if she doesn't respond, you'll still be standing tall, knowing your worth isn't defined by anyone else's actions. That, my friend, is the true power of Stoicism in relationships. As we wrap this up, think about how this dynamic plays out in your own life. Have you ever been frustrated by someone's silence only to realize it wasn't indifference, but vulnerability? How might you approach these situations differently now that you understand the deeper motivations at play? Share your thoughts below. Your perspective might inspire someone else navigating the same challenge. Challenge number 3. Misinterpreted signals. One of the biggest reasons women don't reach out, even when they like you, is because they're unsure about your feelings. Let's break this down. Just like men, women crave clarity in romantic situations, but when your actions send mixed signals, it creates uncertainty. She starts questioning herself. He smiled at me but didn't follow up. Was I reading too much into it? We had such a great conversation, but then he seemed distant. Does he like me or not? He texted me, but now it feels like he's pulling away. Am I wasting my time? Here's the thing. Women often feel the weight of societal expectations and fear coming on too strong. They don't want to misinterpret your actions, so if your behavior leaves room for doubt, it's easier for them to retreat into silence than risk rejection or embarrassment. Even if she's really into you, a lack of clear signals from your side can cause her to hesitate. This is where Stoicism can offer a game-changing perspective. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." In relationships, this translates to one key principle. Clarity is the foundation of trust and connection. As a man, your role isn't to play games or send cryptic messages. It's to communicate your intentions clearly and confidently. This doesn't mean being overly aggressive or laying everything out all at once. It means removing ambiguity so she doesn't have to guess how you feel. For example, instead of hinting at wanting to see her again, simply say, "I really enjoyed talking with you. Let's grab coffee this weekend." Some men hesitate to be direct because they fear rejection or feel vulnerable. But here's the truth. Being clear about your intentions doesn't make you weak. It makes you stand out. Women respect men who know what they want and are express it. That said, Stoicism teaches us to balance action with patience. While clarity is essential, it's also important not to push too hard if she's unsure about her feelings or needs time to process. Respect her space. For example, if you've expressed interest and she doesn't respond right away, don't flood her with follow-up messages. If she seems hesitant, don't assume the worst. Her silence may be more about her own fears than a lack of interest. Think of clarity as a way to eliminate unnecessary obstacles. When you're direct and confident, you create an environment where she feels safe to be vulnerable too. Consider this. If you're sending mixed signals, she has to work twice as hard to figure out where you stand. This mental and emotional effort can push her away. On the other hand, when your intentions are clear, you remove that uncertainty and make it easier for her to engage with you. Even with clarity, there's no guarantee she'll respond the way you hope. This is where Stoicism becomes your greatest ally. Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. If she doesn't reply, don't spiral into self-doubt or frustration. You've done your part by being clear and direct. By staying grounded, you show both her and yourself that your worth isn't defined by anyone else's response. When you radiate a combination of clarity and calmness, you set yourself apart from the noise of mixed signals and hesitation. And trust me, that's exactly the kind of energy that draws people closer. Challenge number 4. Testing a man's leadership. Women often test a man's ability to lead, sometimes without even realizing it. This isn't about dominance or control. It's about understanding whether you're the kind of man who can step up with decisiveness and presence. When a woman pulls back or stops initiating contact, she's observing how you handle the space. Do you crumble under the pressure, chase after her validation, or lean into your calm and take the lead? Let's say she used to text you every morning, asking how you slept or sending cute memes to start your day, but one day, those texts stop coming. Many men, feeling the absence, react in one of two ways. First, the chaser. He panics and starts bombarding her with messages, desperate to restore the connection. Second, the retreater. He assumes the worst, that she's no longer interested, and disappears altogether. Neither of these approaches demonstrates leadership or emotional security. Women aren't looking for a man who chases them down or fades away. They're drawn to a man who can stay steady and proactive, someone who doesn't let external circumstances shake his sense of self. Instead of panicking, imagine responding like this. Hey, I noticed we haven't talked much this week. How about dinner on Friday? There's a spot I've been meaning to take you to. This simple message conveys confidence, awareness, and leadership. It shows you're interested but not dependent, thoughtful but not reactive. True leadership isn't about controlling her behavior or demanding she reach out first. It's about showing up with calm authority and purpose, regardless of what's happening around you. When you take action from a place of inner steadiness rather than insecurity, it sends a powerful message. Imagine you're planning a trip with friends, and one of them becomes unsure about their plans. A good leader doesn't waste time trying to convince them to stick with the group. Instead, he calmly moves forward with the plan, trusting that others will follow if they see the strength in his decision. The same principle applies here. When she hesitates or pulls back, don't chase or retreat. Step forward with confidence. Leadership, in this context, doesn't mean grand gestures or dominating the relationship. It's about being steady, thoughtful, and proactive. It might mean taking the initiative to plan a date, sending a message that reflects confidence, or simply letting her know you're thinking about her without pressuring her for a response. In the end, if she's not reaching out, it doesn't necessarily mean she's lost interest. Often, it's a subconscious way of testing your ability to lead with calm confidence. Will you react with insecurity, or will you respond with grounded certainty? The text you've shared provides a detailed perspective on navigating relationships with emotional maturity, particularly from a Stoic mindset. The key themes throughout the text emphasize emotional steadiness, self-worth, and confidence as the cornerstones of attraction and healthy dynamics in relationships. The approach described encourages men to avoid overanalyzing a woman's silence or hesitations, and to instead focus on their own reactions. Stoicism, as presented in this context, teaches individuals to focus on what they can control, their thoughts, actions, and emotional responses, rather than external events or the behavior of others. The central idea is that by embodying calmness, confidence, and emotional reliability, one can create a stable foundation in a relationship, making it easier for both partners to connect meaningfully. Here are the key takeaways from the text. 1. Emotional steadiness and Stoic leadership. By not reacting impulsively to a partner's silence or uncertainties, one demonstrates emotional maturity and leadership. This is about showing quiet strength and purpose, not needing validation, and staying grounded regardless of external circumstances. 2. Self-worth and overthinking. Women, like men, often struggle with overthinking their worth in relationships. By embodying self-assurance, a man helps ease his partner's doubts and reassures her without needing to directly address her insecurities. 3. The power of absence. Absence in a relationship isn't necessarily a negative sign. It can create emotional tension that leads to attraction when handled with calm confidence. Instead of chasing attention or over-communicating, one should embrace the power of absence and allow space for reflection and desire to grow. 4. Emotional safety. For a relationship to thrive, emotional safety is crucial. A woman needs to feel secure enough to trust her partner with her vulnerabilities. This is built through consistency, dependability, and showing up as a steady, reliable presence. 5. Avoiding imbalance and overthinking. Many people, particularly women, worry about coming across as too eager or desperate. The text encourages men to remain confident, take the initiative when needed, and lead by example without overanalyzing the situation or creating unnecessary tension. Timing and patience. Timing in relationships can feel like a game of chance, but patience is key. Instead of overthinking the perfect moment to reach out, one should focus on showing consistent interest and emotional steadiness, while also giving the other person space to act when they feel comfortable. Overall, the message stresses that relationships are not about games or playing by rigid rules, but about creating a steady, confident, and emotionally safe environment for both partners. By leading with intention and remaining calm amidst uncertainty, a man can foster a deeper, more meaningful connection with his partner.